Hi, good evening. My name is Johnny Lynch and I am a candidate in the MT program at USC. Right now I am doing my internship at Lower Richland under Mrs. Still. I am teaching American Government, Honors, and CP, and I also teach a Teacher Cadets course. Today I will be explaining a project I did with a former classmate, Jesse Davis. We had to come up with a social justice project that we wanted to touch on at our job site. Before I go into that social justice issue, I wanted to kind of give you more of a demographic and background of Lower Richland High School. Lower Richland High School is a Richland 1 district school. It is composed of about 1,200 students, and 97% of the students are African American and 79% of the students are in poverty. So going into the social justice project that we tackled, we had to come up with something that we found the school is struggling with. There are many social justice issues that Lower Richland faces, but the one that me and Jesse Davis thought we would touch on the most is the lack of food in the school. So we went out and tried to reach out to anyone that had information on resources that the school provides for students when it comes to food. And that led us to talking with Principal Palmer Williams, and she actually gave us the next step into contacting the school social worker, Joy Manuel. After talking with Joy Manuel, we were able to find out that the school does provide extra food for the students, and by doing that, they provide a food pantry and a food bank. So while we were discussing the food bank with Ms. Manuel, we asked a couple questions on how do you categorize a student in need. And she responded with that students that are in need of extra food are usually represented by a teacher, and a teacher will come and talk to the social worker and tell the social worker that they think that this student might be in need of extra food. The reason that we chose food as our topic is because in my own experience in Ms. Still's class, I found that a lot of students were coming into our class asking for extra food. And when asking for extra food, I asked them, why are you guys coming into class hungry? And a lot of students responded with they're either not getting enough food at home, they're providing food for themselves, that they also work really late at night so that they're not able to get the necessities they need the night before. So with doing that, we took a tour of the food pantry, and while in the food pantry, we saw that there were a lot of canned goods, but the downside of that is that there weren't any nutritious food. There were foods such as ravioli, beans, green beans, and stuff like that, canned goods, but there weren't anything nutritious for the students, such as fruits, granola bars, and stuff like that. Another issue that we faced within the food pantry was that there was no refrigerator. And with no refrigerator, the school isn't able to provide students with suitable foods for them. So that goes into fruit, milk, and stuff like that, vegetables, stuff that needs to be refrigerated. After talking with Ms. Manuel, I tried to come up with more of an action plan to kind of fight this issue, and that led us to talking with the JROTC instructor, Major Kelly. And Major Kelly said that the thing that he does to try and help students when it comes to food is reaching out and looking for some sort of donations to the food pantry. So with that, we found out that majority of the donations come from churches and outside resources. And what JROTC does in providing those food resources for the students is that they go out to the local grocery stores and buy food for the students and bring it back to the school. Another issue that we talked about was the lack of food in the community, if the community was a so-called food desert. After driving around the community, I realized that the community isn't a food desert, and that the community is filled with different shopping centers where you can buy groceries. So that really made me think to, is this issue really just a poverty issue? So after talking with Miss Joy Manuel and going through the food bank, she also told us that at the end of the day, during lunch, the cafeteria ladies actually throw that food away, the extra food away that isn't being used. So that got me thinking, what's a way that we could maybe use that food? So in doing that and taking action, my goal is to be a model for my students. So with that, I want to model for them what steps to take to tackle issues such as this. So with that, I thought of a plan of maybe having each teacher in the school having their own sort of food bank within the classroom that has an assortment of granola bars and maybe fruit snacks and stuff like that, so that if the students can't receive food from the food bank, at least they could receive food from their teacher in the classroom. And I thought that might be as helpful as possible. Now, when it comes to tackling the issue of no food, not enough food for the students, that comes into trying to tackle the issue of Title I. The school, Lower Richland, isn't considered a Title I school, but the school also provides them with free lunch. Every student in Lower Richland is provided free lunch. So with that, it gave me the conclusion that if students are provided free lunch, why aren't students getting the right amount of food? So that's another thing that I want to model for students, is taking informed action, coming up with a plan, and modeling to students, these are the steps you can take to get things done at the high school. So with that, I asked students what are some things that they thought could better the situation when it came to food. And with that, they came up with ideas of maybe drawing up a plan and going to their local district, maybe their superintendent, assistant to superintendent, or maybe even going further than that and talking with state legislators. And if with talking with state legislator, maybe they could get their school to become a Title I school and maybe get provided some of those extra food resources. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I hope you enjoyed it. My name's Johnny Lynch. Have a great day.